In your most vulnerable moment, your dog finds you. No words, no understanding of your problems, and yet, they stay. They walk in quietly, sit beside you, and just watch. And in that silence, something feels almost human. But what is really happening inside their mind? Do they feel your pain? Or are they reacting to something completely different? What if everything you believed about your dog's empathy is only half true? When scientists began studying how dogs respond to human emotion, they didn't rely on stories. They relied on observation. In controlled experiments, dogs were exposed to different human sounds, crying, humming, and normal conversation. And what they found was unexpected. Dogs didn't just react to noise, they reacted to emotion. Crying triggered something unique, not louder, not more dramatic, just different. Many dogs approached immediately, others hesitated, watching from a distance. Some became restless, but almost none reacted the same way they did to ordinary sounds. It was as if they could sense that something wasn't right, and yet their responses were far from identical. Some came closer, some backed away, some tried to intervene, which raises an uncomfortable question. If dogs truly understand our sadness, why don't they all respond the same way? Most dog owners believe something simple. My dog comforts me because they know I'm sad. It's a comforting thought, and it feels true in the moment. But that explanation assumes something very human, that dogs interpret emotions the way we do. But what if they don't? What if your dog isn't thinking, my human is sad, I should comfort them? What if their reaction has less to do with empathy, and more to do with instinct? Because in the natural world, sudden emotional changes don't happen without reason, and they are rarely ignored. To understand your dog's reaction, you have to see the world the way they do. Dogs don't rely on words, they rely on signals. When you cry, your body changes. Your breathing becomes uneven, your posture collapses, your voice shifts in tone, rhythm, and intensity, and beneath all of that, something even more subtle happens. Your body releases stress-related chemicals, hormones that your dog can actually detect. This is part of something known as emotional contagion, a biological response where one individual mirrors the emotional state of another. It's ancient, automatic, and it doesn't require understanding. Your dog doesn't need to know why you're crying. They only need to sense that something has changed, and in a social species, change can mean risk. This is where pack instinct comes into play. Dogs evolved in tightly bonded groups. In those groups, emotional stability meant survival. If one member showed distress, it could signal danger for everyone. So the group responded, quickly, instinctively, together. And even though your dog no longer lives in the wild, that instinct hasn't disappeared. It's simply been redirected toward you. But here's where it becomes even more surprising. Not all dogs try to comfort their owners when they cry. Some show clear signs of stress. They pace. They whine. They avoid eye contact. Others do something different. They lick your face. They paw at you. They nudge you, repeatedly, almost urgently. At first, it feels like comfort, but in many cases, it's something else. They're trying to make it stop, not because they understand your sadness, but because your distress is affecting them. To your dog, your emotional state isn't just information, it's an environment, and when that environment becomes unstable, they try to fix it. Because from their perspective, something is wrong, and it needs to change. To really understand this, you have to ask a deeper question. What do you represent in your dog's world? You are not just a companion, you are their routine, their structure, their sense of safety, the emotional center of their environment. When you are calm, their world feels predictable. When you are happy, their world feels secure. But when you cry, that stability shifts, and your dog feels it immediately, not as a story, not as a human emotion, but as a disruption, a break in the pattern they depend on. That's why they come closer. That's why they watch you so carefully. That's why they don't just walk away. Because to them, this moment matters more than you might realize. This doesn't mean your dog doesn't care. In fact, it might mean the opposite. Your dog may not understand heartbreak, loss, or the reason behind your tears. But they understand connection. They understand presence. They understand that something in their world is out of balance, and they try to restore it in the only ways they know how. Sometimes by licking your face. Sometimes by pressing their body against yours. Sometimes by doing nothing at all. Just sitting beside you, waiting, staying. And maybe that's where we've been wrong. Maybe we've been measuring their love by human definitions, understanding, explanation, shared emotion. But dogs don't love the way humans do. Their connection is simpler, more instinctive, less about meaning and more about presence. They don't need to understand your pain to respond to it. They just need to feel that something has changed and choose not to leave. So the next time your dog finds you crying and quietly sits beside you, ask yourself this: are they trying to understand you, or are they trying to protect something deeper? The bond that keeps their world stable, the connection that defines their sense of safety. Because in their mind, you are not just someone they love. You are the center of everything they know. And maybe that's what makes this moment so powerful. Not that they understand your pain, but that they refuse to leave you alone in it. And in a world where understanding is often complicated, maybe that kind of presence is something even deeper.